Hey, ladies and gents, I hope the first bit of that review went okay, and on to the second little piece here. So, number 8 is uh, a bit of a problem question. So it's just saying your flask starts off with 2.5 cups of juice. Ping comes along, drinks 3/8 of it, and then Preston comes along and drinks another 7/10 of it, and they want to know how much is left. So you can do it all in one shot, as you see here. There's the total amount of juice in it. There's the first amount that leaves and then the second amount that leaves. So it's just, we can do it as one subtraction question. So to start us off, we have a mixed number. So first thing, always, always, always improper fraction. Okay. And again, whenever you have a mixed number, you want to put it as an improper fraction if you're going to be doing anything with it. The only time when I want something sitting as a mixed number, if we jump down to the end, is, see, we have an improper fraction, so we're going to switch that back to a mixed number and then put it in lowest terms. Okay, so you can start and end with a mixed number, but when you're doing anything with it, any calculations, we want it as an improper fraction, please. Okay, so 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And then the 3/8 and 7/10 just get copied straight down. So common denominators, there are smaller ones that I could use, but I went with one that just makes it the simplest to find a common denominator. I did 2 times 8 times 10 for 160. Okay, and then for the numerators, for this one, it'd be 5 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 10. Okay, for this one, it would be 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 10. So we're multiplying them by the other two denominators. And then for this one, it'd be 7 times 8 times 2. Okay? Subtract the numerators. 400 subtract 60, subtract 112. I get that. And then how many groups of 160 fit into that? One group with 68 left over. And then I just got to drop this down into lowest terms. So divide by 2 once, divide by 2 again, and there's our final answer. Okay? So for number 9, I just chose 2 of them out of that section. That should give you a good snapshot of how to do this section. So just some multiplication. I chose 9a because it said 2/3 times the whole number 15. So first thing, I put 15 as a fraction by putting it 15 over 1. Any whole number can be made into a fraction by putting it over 1. 2 times 15 is 30, 3 times 1 is 3, 30 divided by 3 is 10. Then h, appears just as it does here. So just 11 times 7 is 77, 6 times 4 is 24. We get 3 groups of 24 fitting into that with 5 left over. Number 10, big long problem question, and they throw some extra info in there, saying that 3/4 of the people ordered turkey, 1/4 of them ordered roasted vegetable, and then they're saying, of the 3/4 who want turkey, 2/5 do not want mayonnaise. And then the final question is, what fraction of the students do not want mayonnaise? So we don't need that other 1/4. It's just put in there some extra information that we need to filter out. So basically they're saying, so how much is 2/5 of the 3/4? And we know of means multiply. So it's just 2/5 times 3/4. 2 times 3 is 6, 5 times 4 is 20, drop it into lowest terms, 3 over 10. For this one, 4 divided by 5 is 6, so whole number, put as a fraction by putting it over 1, and then take the reciprocal of this, so I've flipped it over, it's now 6 over 5 instead of 5/6, and making sure that that changes to multiplication as well. 6 times 4 is 24, 5 times 1 is 5. We can get 4 groups of 5 going into that with 4 left over. Number 12, saying that you get a glass of milk is 2/3 of a cup, and you're starting off with 8 cups of milk, and they want to know how many glasses can you fill. So there's our total, and every time you get a 2/3 chunk of it, that makes 1 glass. So we want to know how many 2/3 chunks there are in the 8 cups. That's how we knew that we had to divide. Okay, so again, 8 becomes 8 over 1. 2 over 3, we take the reciprocal, we flip it, becomes 3 over 2, and we change it to multiplication. And then 8 times 3 is 24 over 2, and we get 24 divided by 2 is 12. Okay. Number 13, sum division. So 5/4 divided by 3, that becomes 3 over 1. Flip it, 1/3, and now we're multiplying. 1 times 5 is 5, 3 times 4 is 12. For number 14, saying Jaden estimates that he can get, takes an hour and a quarter to knit a square for a blanket, and he knows that he has 25 hours to do that. So again, how do I know that it's divide? Well, there's the total amount of time that he has, and it's saying that every 1 1/4 hour chunks there are gives him a square. So he wants to know how many squares he can get out of the 25 hours. So like I was saying at the beginning of this review, we have a mixed number sitting here. We don't work with mixed numbers, always improper fractions, okay? So 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5 over 4. And I put the 25 over 1. We're going to take the reciprocal of that. It's flipped, change it to multiplication. 4 groups of 25 are 100. 1 times 5 is 5. And how many groups of 5 can we get in 100? Well, 20 of them. Okay. And then 15's down here. So this one said, if you divide a fraction by a whole number, is the quotient greater than or less than 1? And they wanted an example. So I made a fraction and I divided it by a whole number, and it says the quotient. So the answer to a division question, greater than or less than 1. Well, it's going to be less than 1 because we're taking something that's already smaller than 1 and we're chopping it into 2 pieces. So I'm going to be chopping that in half basically. Okay. So here we go. Divided by 2 becomes divided by 2 over 1. Flip that, multiply it by a half, and then you see a half of 3/4. I'm chopping it in half. 1 times 3 is 3, 2 times 4 is 8, 3/8, even smaller than 3/4. And whatever example you chose is fine, as long as it's a proper fraction divided by a whole number. Okay? You know, if you have questions, where to find me. I see a couple people are dropping them into Google Classroom, and I will answer them as soon as I can. Okay, thanks, ladies, gents.